to this series of In Conversations with. My name is Kiki Patty, and I am going to be the host of the series. Guys, we decided to bring you this series of In Conversations with so that you can hear some of the voices of Black professionals that we have across the UK, starting from here in the Southwest. The intention behind these In Conversations series is to bring awareness to all Black professionals across the UK, to these remarkable people who are already achieving great things in their lives, and to inspire you, to let you know that you could do the same, that you could be part of the change that we need in the Black professionals industry, in the employment industry. So guys, today I'm going to be chatting with Frank Arko-Tharkor, who is one of the founders of the Black Professional Network. And Frank, I am so delighted to have you here today. Hi, Frank.
Hello, Kiki. Thank you very much for having me.
So guys, Frank is one of the founders of the Black Professional Network. So I'm going to start first by asking Frank to tell us a little bit about himself.
All right. Thanks a lot, Kiki. I'm married with two lovely daughters, one in secondary school and the youngest about to start secondary school as well. I work for one of UK's largest energy companies and currently on a flagship project in the Southwest region. I'm looking after some offshore civil engineering works at the moment. I'm a chartered quantity surveyor, also a member of the Institute of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, a board member of Bristol Museum Development Trust, and like you said rightly, one of the founders of Black Professional Network. Also on the side, I do some property development as well. So yeah, it takes a bit of my time as well. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Frank, I think everybody's expecting me to ask this as my first question to you. What motivated you and Poku to launch the Black Professional Network here in Bristol?
I think, thanks for that. And I do get asked that question quite a lot. And it's a valid one. I think for quite some time, and it's fair to say, in the professional setting, most people like yourself and many others, we do find ourselves being either the only one Black professional in the office environment or one of two. And then you do find others, maybe some cleaners or some other sort of not professional in a sense that we would classify professionals. You would have some minorities working there as well. But what that did for some of us was that in the professional setting, you do find yourself being alone most of the time, if I'm completely honest, and that loneliness sort of meant that if we have a space where professionals of color can meet and share things, maybe you might be going through stuff that only you or someone who understands you can share or give you some advice or some direction if they've been through it. We have quite a lot of professionals within the Black Professional Network and with various levels of seniority, various levels of seniority. So having that person or someone who's been through your level and bouncing things back off them is something that we thought was quite good and opportune time really to sort of create the environment and make that happen. So we thought about it and said, why not? If we don't do it now, when would it be? If not now, who? So that's what sort of motivated us to start Black Professional Network.
Well, Frank, thank you for that background. I can't imagine that things have been all smooth sailing for you in your professional career, you know, being a quantity surveyor, being RIG certified, and having your own professional, your own property development on the side as well. So I can imagine that in building your own career to where you are right now, you have certainly, as we all do, faced some challenges. So what I'd like to know, Frank, is what strategies do you use to deal with any barriers that might get in the way of you achieving your professional goals?
Uh, very good. Again, thanks for that question. The barriers are there, and in all setting, to be fair, it's not just being black that you face those barriers. It happens to all colors. It happens to everyone. There are some seniors within your company that naturally may not like you, and not just because you're black or white or any other color. It's just their nature. So my strategy has been, I don't focus on them at all. I let my output and my performance do the talking. Most companies, at the end of the year, at the end of the day, they're looking at their P&L, their profit and loss. If you're contributing to the profit, then you will be kept in the office. If you're contributing to the loss, then guess what? Your stake in the office is a bit shaky. So my focus is to do my very best to excel at what I do, so that if it comes to taking people, making people redundant or whatever there is that I will be sidelined, I'll make myself quote unquote indisposable, to try and then climb up the ladder as well. And also one other thing is understanding from other people's point of view what they're talking about, because it's not everything that you can interpret in race terms, right? Sometimes it can be pure ignorance. Sometimes it can be sheer misunderstanding or miscommunication. So when you understand where people are coming from and what people are saying or what they're trying to say, then you can have, certainly I can have intelligent conversation with them, if there is any barrier at all. But there are, but I don't necessarily focus on them. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Frank. And actually, you've touched upon what would be my next question. So one of the things that we would like to do with, this with the Black Professional Network is to help people, to enable them to achieve excellence in their professional lives. Now, what I want to know is, what advice do you have for professionals out there, Black professionals out there, who would like to get into senior roles in terms of how they can progress? I mean, you've already touched upon the things they should be focusing on. So I just want you to maybe give us a broader view of what kind of strategies should Black professionals out there be using to step into more senior roles.
I think I would just use myself as an example, to be fair. One, have a vision, because as the good book says, if you don't have a vision, you would ultimately perish. So having a vision is one. Ask yourself, where do you want to get to in the next 2 years? Where do you want to get to in the next 5 to 10 years? If you can't clearly outline where you want to get to in the next couple of years, then I would say don't blame your line manager if they can't define that for you. So to get into senior roles, you need to see yourself as getting into that senior role, right? And if you can see yourself getting into that senior role, then guess what? The laws of attraction would bring everything back together and align for you to be able to get there. Like we've already said, the road isn't that smooth, but having a vision and something you can glean on and work towards would be the one that I would recommend to up and coming professionals to get to senior roles. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Frank. And I love that you mentioned the law of attraction, because that's like one of my favorite topics. But right now, I want to actually go a little bit personal to ask you a more personal question. We obviously know you, Frank, and we know that you're excellent and you're doing great in your career. What rituals or practices do you use in your own personal life that we may be able to borrow from to help us excel, not just in our professional lives, but to just be better people, to be better human beings? What rituals and practices do you use in your own personal life that you can share with us?
Just a couple of things I can share. I do read a lot. I do read wide as well, but I'm quite choosy in the type of books I read and people I read. I would recommend any book from Jim Rohn, excellent speaker, motivation speaker, and Tony Robbins as well. But one of the books that I would also highly recommend is actually a book I have here. Is The Magic of Thinking Big. Okay, and that's a great book as well. But there are a series of other books that I can recommend. But also I do chip in every morning before I start my day, do some exercises as well. So at least half an hour in the gym, as long as do whatever you do, but sweat, right? As long as you're sweating, that's fine. That for me, that works for me, and it sets my day in a very good sort of mood, helps my thinking and that sort of thing. So I suppose a couple of things I can recommend. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, that leads me nicely to my next question, which is, tell us, what is your favorite quote?
It has to be Jim Rohn. Says, motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what gets you going.
I love it. I love it, Frank. Thank you for sharing that with us. All right, now that we're just wrapping up with this interview, what I want to do is I want to paint a picture for you so that you can just help us get more into the mind of Frank. So imagine, Frank, that you are being shipped off to a desert island.
All right.
And you're only allowed to take 3 items with you. What 3 items would you take and why?
Good question. I need to think about this one. One, I need to feed my spiritual self. So I'll take my Bible. 2, I need to feed my physical body. So I'll need a very nice Ghanaian jollof rice. and finally, I'll take one of my books with me.
That's amazing. I love how you said Ghanaian jollof rice, because we both know that Nigerian jollof rice is really what you meant, but all right, we won't argue about that. Frank, it's been so delightful chatting with you today. And so guys, this is Frank, one of your founders. Next, you'll be hearing from Poku, who is also one of the BPN founders. And guys, like I said, this is just meant to inspire you, to enable you, to influence you, to connect you with other Black professionals. So you can see that, you know, there are amazing Black professionals out there who are doing great things, and you could be one of them. Help us become the change. Let us all empower each other to lift each other up and actually just excel together. All right, guys, it's Kiki signing out. Frankie, thank you so much.